and welcome, a very warm welcome to Codebase Alpha on a very historic day, the day that we saw the first picture of a black hole in a distant galaxy, and also very much hope that it's actually another historic day, which is the launch of Falcon Heavy this evening. It's a pity I'll be in bed when that happens, but at the moment apparently the rocket is still on its side and not actually upright, so fingers crossed it's actually going to happen. So yes, a very momentous day for many reasons for people interested in astronomy and space. So let's hope that say that Falcon Heavy launches okay this evening, and everything's okay with that launch. I can't wait, if it happens, can't wait to see the videos of those boosters coming back. So really looking forward to that. So this is the early stream, so thank you for those people who have managed to join. Do say hello in chat. We're going to continue with GraphQL today, and I'm hoping to kind of finish off the query aspects of the GraphQL and try and get at least into a position where I can put the PR in over to DevChatter for the DevStreams project. Might not actually get to do the whole of the thing yet, because I've noticed that there's a few commits on the DevStreams repository which I haven't got, and I may need to speak to Brendan, and this is okay with me actually putting a PR directly into master, but we'll find that out. Okay, so let's continue what we've been doing. What I want to do first is try and finish off building out the client. So currently we've got up here, we've got a channel model and we've got a stream session model, and there are a few more kind of attributes which need to go onto the channel model. So let's complete that and see if we can do that in quite a fairly short time. Okay, so if we look at our channel type, which is over here, you can see that we've got ID, name, URI, country, and time zone. So we should have those on our channel model, which we do. We've also got the stream session model, which is representing our next stream. Okay, so let's see what else we need on here. We need tags, we need Twitch channel, and we need schedule. Okay, so let's do those. So let's go over to our channel model, and we want to have a property called schedule, and that's going to be a list of stream schedule type, scheduled stream model, and we haven't got scheduled stream model created yet. Let's bring the namespace in for the generic collections, and we need to create this one now. So let's create that class, and that's been declared over here for us. So scheduled stream model, and what do we need in there? So let's go and have a look at what we've got on that. Scheduled stream type is over here, so we've got an ID, a channel ID, and a time zone, and then some day of week and some time. So we can probably just go and grab some of that out of stream session model. So we've got an ID and a channel ID and a channel ID. So let's grab those, pop those over here. Let's get this formatted. Oh, that's just the constructor. We don't need a constructor, so let's get rid of that. Okay. There we go. So the channel ID, and then there was what else was there? I forget. Stream schedule stream type, a time zone, and then the days of the week and all that. So we have time zone, think it was called time zone ID. It was. Then we've got day of week and local start time. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so we've got here day of week, and this was an ISO day of week. And we're going to need to bring that in. That's one of our node time types. And we all already have node time in this. Coded Beard, good afternoon. Welcome. So I know you were commented in the Discord about the black hole photograph or photographs and how amazing they were. I totally agree. Astonishing stuff. We're going to have and this was a local date time, I think. Local time. I can't remember. Let's have a look. It was a local time. Local time, and the property is going to be called local start time. Let's make sure we don't mess that up, and we'll just grab that, copy it across to local end time. Okay, so that's our stream schedule. We don't need drawing. That's with me bringing in the wrong thing. Okay, so that's looks like everything that we need from there. So we can get rid of that, and we can pop that into our channel model, which we have here. We better test that out because I've not actually tried bringing back a list from this client yet. So you're back, Cody Beard, you're back to the joys of porting ancient code to core. Well, at least you are porting it to core. I mean, it does sound like it's a painful thing to have to do, but you've got the satisfaction at the end of doing that. You've got something that's really up to date. So at work, I can't do that. I've got a lot of stuff which is dependent on stuff which is in the framework, and can't just move it easily to .NET, though all our new stuff is in .NET Core, so that's good. But a lot of the legacy stuff isn't. Okay. So here we've got next stream, and let's have schedule. So let's see if we can get schedule in. So schedule, and the schedule was time zone. Let's make sure we don't make the same spelling mistakes we did last time. Time zone, and here we're going to have day of week, local start time, and local end time, like that. Okay, so that's that. Let's go over to our test client, which lives down here, and let's put a loop in there. So for each day in results dot we haven't got schedule in there yet, have we? Why haven't we got schedule? So over in channel model we should have local start time. Let's schedule. So I've got to change that. It's a good day today. Okay, there we are. So we should be good to go on our model now. So did you try to post a link there, Cody Beard? I'm sorry, but something happened and you've been timed out. So do apologise for that. I do have coded. I do have Nightbot wound up really to the max, and I'm not sure what you wrote there, but don't worry about it. In result.schedule, isn't it, everyone? There we go. So each slot, we'll call it. We'll have a generic message which will say schedule. Publish schedule, we'll say. And then what we can do is simply write out. So let's put in the slot dot day of week, and that's going to be just a number, but we won't worry about that now. We'll fix that at some other point in the future. Cody Bird, you don't think you like me mentioning GDI plus? Okay. I'm not quite thought it was a link or thought it was a profanity, and I'm not quite sure about that. Draco401, welcome to the stream. Thanks for saying hi. So yeah, you joined us on the earlier slot. Which most people will find difficult to actually join, and I am considering what to do about that. Whether I have a slightly later one on a Wednesday, it's a bit difficult. But we'll see. And slot.end time. And here we'll put the same comment there. We need $1 for the string interpolation. Okay, there we go. You're in Europe, time is perfect, yeah. Oh, we couldn't get a Falcon vertical, are they, Draco? That's fantastic. So I think it's been on its side for quite a long time, and they think it might not launch until right at the end of the window, which is remarkably similar to the demo flight, which I think had a couple of minutes to go before the window closed and they launched. So I really do hope it goes. I very much hope it goes. Okay, let's kick this off and see what happens with that, because this is the first time we brought back a list. So let's run up the web service first, the website rather. So at the moment, if you're in Europe, Draco, then that means you're actually an hour ahead of the UK. So I think it'd be more perfect for you than most people in the UK are probably still at work. Most people will be still at work. So it swings and roundabouts, really, isn't it? Okay. And let's start up our test client. Debug, start new instance, and let's see what happens. And we threw an exception. Okay, so I kind of suspected it might do, but we'll see. So we get in the channel. So it says error converting the value 1900 to a type node time local time. So it's coming back as a string. So yeah, we'll take a string, shall we? Can we take a string? Yeah, we'll take a string. Okay, so where we are in our model here, so we'll take that as a string and see what happens. Okay, and this ISO day of week is probably going to come back. Well, that should be okay. That should be all right, because it should convert that to a day of the week, and we can do some. If we wanted to display it as Thursday, we could do that inside our client stuff rather than worrying about doing it in our test client. We know what it means. Okay, and let's run up the test client again. Debug and start new instance, and see what we get. There we go. So we got our time. So here we have dev chatter. this is their next stream, which is tomorrow, and here's their published schedule, and you can see that's correct, and that's in Europe, London time as well, so that's perfect. Okay, so we've got that bit. Let's just build out the rest of the components of the channel type, and then we can actually go on and look at another feature we want to add into channel type. Okay, channel model. So excuse me, channel type also has tags, which is a list of tags, and it also has a Twitch channel information. So let's put those in. So tag, the tag type is a ID, description, and a name. So that's fairly easy. So over in channel model, we need to have a list of tags, and this will be of tag model. And we'll call it tags. Oops. And we'll create this. We'll declare that class over here. We don't need the constructor, and this is going to be so an integer called ID. We're going to have a string called I think it was called, was it called tag? It was called name, wasn't it? Name, and we want a string called description. Okay, so that's our tag type, a tag model which mirrors our tag type. We've got that attached into our channel model now. Let's just neaten that up a bit. Okay, and that's what else do we need? We need to have Twitch. So that's just a one-to-one relationship. So we need a Twitch model. Okay, so that's over in our channel model, and we want we can put this actually up here. So this is a public Twitch model. Twitch. What did we call it? We called it Twitch, did we? Twitch, yeah. I'm just getting set that. We can go and create this, declare that class. I thought I declared that class then. Obviously not. Oh, I did. There it is, over there. Once again, we can lose our constructor. We don't need one of those. It's just a DTO basically. And we want, so what's on the Twitch type? Twitch channel type is a channel ID, Twitch ID. So these are all, those are all strings. Oh, there's a couple of bools there, aren't they? They're booleans. So string, 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 and then two bools. Fine. String channel ID. Was it called Twitch channel? I might remember at the moment. I'm thinking of the things Twitch ID and Twitch name. Twitch ID. Twitch name, and then is affiliate, and is partner. Okay, so that's good. So I think that's everything we need now. Our channel model now has 4 complex types on it, and this one has schedule, tags, Twitch, and next stream, so that's good. So let's go and give that a try. Go over to our graph type, and let's just knock some of these down. So we've got our schedule, our next stream. We want Twitch. And in there we'll have Twitch ID and Twitch name is affiliate, is partner. I believe that's what we call all of those. Let's go and just check that. And that was on the Twitch channel type. And yeah, they should be called those things. So let's just make sure that actually happens. Okay, so we've got that. Let's try that bit out first. Let's do it incrementally so we don't get into trouble. I'm going to just move this microphone a bit closer. Okay, so I think that's a bit better. Yeah. Okay, let's start it up again. I don't want to kind of introduce too many errors by rushing ahead. So let's just do this fairly kind of sedately. And run this. Here we go. Oh, we're not printing it out, but at least we'll get to see it. So it didn't throw up, so that's good. And let's just so that I'm pretty confident that's going to be okay. So let's get tags in. So we hit tags. So I think you start to see that this GraphQL query language is really quite succinct. So just have name in there, shall we? The tag name. Okay, and now let's go over to our program, and we can say, I don't know, for each tag in result tags, and we could format it quite nicely, but we'll just do a console right line of that. So just grab that. Curly braces, and then tag.name. There we go. And we can say subjects channel is tagged with, and that should be sufficient to prove everything's working. Let's run it up. Okay, get rid of some of these windows. Okay, and back over here. Solution Explorer, find our test client and debug that. Oh, DevChatter, you're hosting my stream. Thank you very much. That's really good, thank you. Okay, so here we go. So yes, we've got our tags, C#, JavaScript, English, and .NET Core for DevChatter's stream. So that's brilliant. So the other thing we need to do, having got all of those pieces in place, is to actually get back more than one channel. We want to get all the channels back. So Brendonius, thank you very much for the auto host. I think was that a manual host or an auto? I couldn't tell. Does it distinguish it between an auto and a manual host? So thank you very much for the host anyway. It's quite hard to get people on the viewers on the early stream here, so it's all very much appreciated. Anything to help that. That was a manual host. Thank you very much for that. Okay, where are we? So we're back on the channel client. So there's a couple of things we need to do here before we do more than one. I think what we need to do is we need to be able to not provide a time zone. Do you think? Let's get more than one channel coming back first. So let's grab all of this. Because I've not tried that before either. So we might as well get ourselves into that feature. So, so this will be get channels. And it's just going to take a time zone in this time. And we don't need a channel ID anymore. And this is going to be bringing back channels. So the response is going to be, hopefully we're going to get a list back. So this is going to be a list of channel model. Okay. So let's go back over to our client, and we'll then do another query. We'll just be unimaginative. Let's say get channels. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll say console.writeLine. We won't print much out. We'll just print out total number of channels in dev streams. We'll say that is going to be result 2.count. And then for each channel in result 2, no, we'll just print out the name. And this is going to be channel dot name. Was it name channel? Oh, I can't spell again. Channel dot name, yeah. So we should get how many there are, and then print out how many. Print all the names out that we got in the database. Pure Snable, welcome. Pure Snable says that the Stack Overflow developer survey results are out now. Yes, and I believe didn't the most popular framework come out to be .NET Core? I think that's what happened. I think it had over 70. Is it 75 or 76%? Not as I kind of keep tabs on what the favourite frameworks are. I don't really care. Obviously, what I use is what's of interest to me, and it gives you a kind of indication where maybe you should be looking at for future stuff. But other than that, popularity is a fickle thing, isn't it? Really. Okay, so let's run this up, and we'll see if that works. And if it falls over, then we'll have to think how we get around that. Visual Studio outranks ranks very high. Visual Studio Code, yes, we can imagine that. So what did we do? I did something wrong. Let's do a build and find out what we went wrong. So as Nightbot just says, if you're not following me on Twitter, please do so at Codebase Alpha. If you're not a follower of the channel, then please hit that follow button. We are only 11 followers away from our goal of 100 followers. So the more the merrier really on that, and it's the best way of keeping me kept informed of what's happening. So what's it saying? Okay. So it's okay. So I wonder how we bring back more than one then, if we can't just do that. Oh, so let's put a breakpoint here, And let's run it up and see what comes back in the response. Oh no, I can see what's wrong straight away. So let's not do that. Let's see if we can just pop list in there. Oops, we're running. That's a list of channel model. Yeah, let's just try that. That's the obvious thing to try, isn't it? Okay, let's try again. So it's been an interesting day at work today. I had Visual Studio 2019 decided that one of the projects in my service layer solution was going to be, not rather than C#, it would treat it as if it was TypeScript, and so I lost all IntelliSense. I still haven't got to the bottom of it. I don't know why it's done it. Every other project in the solution is C# and I get IntelliSense, but this one solution, it comes up with a little message at the bottom saying IntelliSense TypeScript 3.3. So yes, it's been a day of unproductive yak shaving. I didn't get to do anything I needed to do because of that problem, and I still haven't solved it. So that's a really interesting one. And I don't know if it's coincident with the fact that 16.01 came out today and I upgraded. I'll learn one day, won't I? I haven't upgraded for the stream on here, but at work I did upgrade. Okay, so we get failure here. Cannot perform runtime binding on a null reference. Okay, interesting. What's null? Oh, okay, some of those things were null then, weren't they, that came back? Yeah, okay, some of those things were null. Yeah, Fuel Stub, you hit the upgrade button. Yeah, well you do, because it's a new version. You know that there are going to be frequent updates in the first few days and weeks of that. So yeah, that's what I did. So channel model. So I wonder if we can just say this. If there's no schedule, a new list of schedule stream model, and I don't know if we can do this, but we'll try it. A new list of tag model. Let's see what happens there. So Fuel Snable. Oh, you don't upgrade macOS immediately. Oh, are you looking at the Stack Overflow survey here, and the question is, how long ago did devs last change jobs? Yeah, I tend to stay in jobs quite a long time. So the current job's 7+ years, and the previous job that 14+ years. So, mind you, that 14-year one, it was for 3 different companies sat at the same desk. So I don't know if that counts. Still in the same job though, so yeah. So I tend to stay in jobs quite a long time. Okay, let's see what happens now. Debug. That threw an exception again, didn't it? But yeah, here we are. Cannot perform runtime binding on a null reference. Okay. So we could think that perhaps it's due to this is really interesting, and how we cope with this. So Pure Stabber says more than 4 years at your place of work is merely 18% of the workforce. Yeah. Yes, I don't know why I stay in jobs a long time. I don't know. Yeah. So Brandoni says he's done one of those when the company changed, but you didn't go anywhere. Yeah. It's an interesting situation. So let's have a look what we can do about this. So stream, so tag model. I'm not quite sure what to do about this. It's obviously complaining that some of these are null, so so let's see what happens when we can get this back. Let's go into our client, stick that breakpoint where it was going to be, and let's run it up again and observe what comes back. Pure Snowball says he's switched too many jobs. I don't know if you can. I think if you need to move on, you need to move on, especially if it's for your career. There's only one person who can do anything for your career, that's you. A company can't advance your career. You can advance your own career within the same company, but they can't advance your career for you. So if you have to move to advance your career, then you have to move. It depends whether you like working there and what the challenge is like. If you're working with a good team and good people, then you'll work for less money as well, I guess. It'll keep you there, maybe where salary might drag you away otherwise. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. Okay, we don't want that one, we want the second hit. Oh no, it Okay. So we got here. Sorry, I don't know why that happened. Oh, I don't know why it happened. Okay, that's silly me. It wasn't the second hit, it was the first hit of that. Okay, let's run that again. Okay, so our response here, what's it contain? It's actually null. Oh, that's interesting. Didn't bring anything back at all. So let's just check that I'm not being silly with my code. So we're looking for a list of channel model, get channels. We query, here we go, look, you see. So it's channels there. Okay. Let's give it one more go and see what happens. Crimson Green, welcome to the channel. Good to see you. How's your day been? My day's not started off very well, with interesting issues with Visual Studio 2019, which I'm not quite sure what is causing them. It may not necessarily be a 2019 issue. It might be an issue with my my project, I guess. So what have we got now? So we've got a response. The data's null again. So what's the errors? It says unknown argument on ID of channel. Okay, so I'm just being. This is where we need your derp command, Brendan, because it's just being silly. Look, I'm asking for information here. There's no ID on there, so we can't ask that. Thank you. It doesn't work on my channel, but I'm going to get something. I'm going to get something into the bot. It means investigating overlays. And do you use SignalR? I don't know if you use SignalR for this, but yeah, I do need to investigate all that kind of stuff for the channel. Okay, so this is mega derpy. So let's continue. You signal all of your overlay stuff. So yeah, I must get into it now. I think there was, I think Sean Wildermuth has published some short courses on SignalR, which I might check out. I think there might be paid courses, but it might be worth it because SignalR is something I'm really interested in, but I need to learn a bit about it before I would dare kind of code anything on stream, I think. I can watch back some of your stuff as well, Brendan. So I know that Jeff Fritz also did some. Okay, so here we're here. What we got here? We've got We've got channels this time, so can we actually get them back? Yes, we can. So it does work in the way we hoped, as long as you're not trying to do this live on channel and making mistakes doing that. Okay, so that's good. So it does work. It works in the simplest way we can. So we just bring a list back and it'll map that for us. So get data field as is kind of hiding a multiplicity. This is doing all of our auto mapping for us. Fuel Saber says you've had one of those days where you've had to handhold our Spark jobs to completion. These are now for GDPR purposes, and so there's significant delays. You get to know the DPO by first name here, as long as they're not because of claims against you. I guess that's the thing. Are they kind of are they requests for the data access requests and things like that? Okay, so we've got that. So we could do with handling errors a bit better in here, couldn't we? So so let's just do that. So that we're getting an aggregate error back from here when it falls over. It's an aggregate. So let's just put a bit of error handling around these things. So if so it was response dot errors is null. Then we're going to do that, and if we're not, we're going to grab the error out of the response dot errors dot get the first one, and we'll need to bring in the link, I think, for that. Yeah, and then we'll throw new, how much we call it? We'll just call it GraphQL Exception. Error message. So let's create this. Using GraphQL common exception, I think that's probably sufficient. So yeah, there we go. Is it going to let me take a message in? Just type GraphQL error, but I'll give it. So let's have another look at that. That's going to take in a new GraphQL GraphQL. I thought it says it was error. Oh, it says it contains a graph common response dot GraphQL error. Okay, well we'll just throw that and see what happens. It wants something, doesn't it? So it's something of type GraphQL error. Is it a enumerable? Is it a enum rather? Okay, fair enough. So error dot So I'm not sure. Tell you what. Let's go and have a look at GraphQL Exception on the internet, shall we? I'll just catch up on chat. Nobody wants to get to know that close to the DPO, no, indeed. Oh, there were deletions and takeout requests, yeah. And luckily I don't get involved in any of that. My DBA does, though. Okay, so more comments about the Stack Overflow, survey. I must check that out in more detail. So let's go and have a look at this. See if we can find anything about that. Nothing particular there. Let's put in GraphQL.net, GraphQL Exception. There we go. That's what it is. Oh, that's not page not found. Wonderful. Is there anything more help from that? I don't think that's bringing back the exception. I think that's just bringing back. That's interesting. GraphQL client. So that's client. If not, we'll just roll our own exception. So let's find GraphQL exception. GraphQL HTTP exception. Okay, well, I think I'm just going to roll my own. Interesting. Wonder what that is though. So it takes a GraphQL error. And what does that? That just takes a new GraphQL error. Surely it must take a message, like a string. Yes, it does. So we can just wrap it in there. Or does it? Give me a clue. So it takes, it's got a message, it has got a message. Okay, well, let's see if we can set the message. Helps if we have that. And it helps if we put the quotation mark in the right place. So let me close off there. Come on, what's going wrong here? So really want the one. Oh, see me. There we go. Okay, that's good. Okay, we'll take that. And we'll just copy that code down here as well. Yeah, I'll just copy the code for now. So this is a refactoring opportunity to go and sort this out. and we'll do that. There we go. Okay, so that's a bit of an error handling in there, and back in our client, test client, then we should put a try-catch around a whole lot there, shouldn't we really? So we'll just wrap that in a try-catch. There we go. I can't remember the key for format document. There we are. And the GraphQL Exception. And we'll just console write that out. So console dot write line, whoops, write line, and we'll just put the message out. So that's just for our test client, so we don't worry about too much about that. Okay. So quite happy with that. We've got those models done, and the graph client is just needs to be padded out now with any extra fields that we might want to bring back. But these are reasonable starting points. At the moment, time zone here is actually required. So what we'll do is we'll put the exclamation mark for both of these in there to say it's a required field. And we'll have to come back until a later point and have it so it's optional, so you don't have to put a time zone in. But I think at the moment, in the kind of context of what we're doing, in terms of we want to always speak in the time zone of the requester, of the client as such, then passing the client's time zone in seems to be a reasonable thing to require to do. Okay. So the other thing that I've got on my notes here that I wanted to kind of cover was future streams. And this means we've got to go back into our GraphQL channel type here. We've got next stream, and it would be good to be able to print out future streams. So we could say I want the next 5 streams that are going to happen, and that can be done. This was a subject we were going to cover in an earlier stream, actually, and never actually got round to it. So we'll do it now. Let's just tidy this up. Resolve. Let's go back there. Okay, so we're going to use the batcher again. This is going to be, because we're going to get more than one bat now, we need to use this collection batch loader. So we're going to get a collection back, and it's going to be a stream sessions again. It's going to be future streams. Channels, future streams. Just notice we got 2 there's there, so let's tidy that when we notice that. Okay, so get channel future streams. Dapper session looks into the right place to go. Future streams. We need to create this in our Dapper session lookup. So just grab the name of that. We should be okay for the moment. It's not. So let's go over to our. So we close down the GraphQL client piece. We want to go into core and into our session service. So we've got a session service here, which is the stream session service, and here is where we get our dictionary back of the next stream. So it's going to be very similar to that, except it's going to bring up a lookup. If you remember, lookup is it's like a dictionary, except that the value is a list or enumerable, and it's got some kind of search features built into it. Get that in there. It was called future streams. Future streams. There we go. Okay. So we need to now go and implement that, and that's in our Dapper area. So our Dapper solution, or our Dapper project over here, we've got in our services Dapper session lookup. So we need to implement that interface. Okay. Now we put it down the bottom, I suspect. Let's bring that towards the top. I wish it would actually let me say where I want to put that. Okay, get future streams, get channel future streams lookup, and we're passing in a list of channels. So it's all going to be very, very similar to this. Let's copy it over. So we don't want all of this information here, but we want is select star from stream sessions where UTC start time is greater than that and the channel ID is in the list of channel IDs. Do we want to group by anything? Yeah, we're going to group by we want to group by UTC start time, is that right? No, we want to order by that, not group by. We want to order by it. There. So that should be what we want. So future streams. It's going to be that. We want to look a bit. Wait connection stream sessions. So we're going to be getting multiple back. Query async, that should be alright, shouldn't it? Future streams, query async to list. What's it complaining about? Oh, we got async. Oh, there we go. Wonderful. Okay, so we've got that. So we're downloading that lot, but that's not quite. We're not quite finished there. But let's just check it out to make sure that it actually works, because we want to make sure that we get all the future channels back, future streams back rather, before we go too much further. So, Fuel Stable, you're installing the VS update as we stream. Wow! Do you want to go kind of jump onto the stream and do that live? That'd be a lot of fun. Okay, let's go to our UI playground, and we can try this out. I'm not quite sure what query we've got in here at the moment. Okay, so let's just strip out. Let's strip out that and just say future streams here. And let's see what happens when we do that. Oh, look at that. We get nulls back for everything. Okay. So we've done something wrong. Well, I have anyway. So let's have a look. Go back to our channel type. So we are, so we're not bringing back a list, are we? We're bringing out stream session type. So this needs to be a list graph type of session, stream session type. So list graph, oops. Helps if you stop it running. It's worked to feel stable for your upgrade. Well, that's very good. Did it take really long on yours? I had to do a reboot and I wasn't quite sure why it wanted me to reboot. I don't really remember Visual Studio updates asking you to do reboots previously. But no reboot. Oh, that's very interesting. I wonder if something got corrupted in the reboot or something like that. Okay, let's try again. Let's try that. There we go, future streams. So there should be loads and loads of future streams, and this is where our use of data loader really kind of comes into its own, because that we're not actually doing. If we've got 52 future streams per channel, and we've got 7 channels, then we know that's kind of a huge number of queries. But here we're just doing 2 queries, hence it's pretty quick. Okay, so what we want to do now really is better constrict this and say actually we only want the first 5, or we want to skip 5 and take 5, whatever. So let's do that bit if we can. So we're going to need to have some arguments passed in. It's going to be a take and a skip and a take, basically. If we look back here, you can see how arguments are pulled in. So if we go to one of the types, schedule stream type, no, session type, here we are. So you can see that we have the ability to add arguments to these things. In this case it's time zone. So let's actually grab that piece of code there and bring it across over to our channel type. And for future streams, we want to have some arguments. And do a bit of tidying up. Okay, so the first argument is going to be it's going to be an integer. That's an int graph type. So remember that everything, all this, the scalar types are all kind of wrapped up in their own graph types. Ooh, who's this? An incoming raid, Hugo Dahl, F. Pachero, Pranav, Jam3SN, and Little Dan. Welcome to the stream. Do hit that follow button. Help me meet my my follower goal. We're very, very close to it. If you enjoy the stream, then you will be able to get notifications of upcoming streams. This is Codebase Alpha, and we're doing GraphQL. I'll just pop this into the stream. So yeah, well, this is all part of a project to get a GraphQL endpoint into the dev streams system that DevChat is building. F. Pacheros, thank you very much for the follow. That's wonderful. Doug the Coder, thank you for the follow. F13N, thank you for the follow. That is fantastic. I really do appreciate these guys. You know, it's wonderful to get these follows. It just really just kind of boosts morale as a streamer, especially when you're first starting out, as I am. So thank you very much for that. You don't know how much it means to me, really don't. Okay, so here we go. So let's we've got that, and now this is going to be skip, and we want another argument. Which is going to be so that lives in there, and we want another one of those, which is going to be a new query argument. TDB Gamer, thank you for the follow. We're really kind of racing towards that target now. Little Dan, thank you for the follow. Long stream of binary digits, thank you for the follow. JT Son, thank you for the follow. Little Dan, I think I've said. .commy, thank you for the follow. Clarkio, thank you for the follow. Oh, this is a wonderful day. Thank you very much, so much. It's wonderful. We think I had that one. So this is a query argument. This is an int graph type. Int graph type. And this is a name. Oops, what's the default value come from? This is where we're going to get all kind of wrapped up in all these braces, isn't it? So let's see if we can sort out what goes in what brace. So the name here is going to be take. Clarkio, thank you very much. Do enjoy your streams. I don't often get to them, but I do enjoy them when I do manage to get to them. They're quite unique, in a good way. I especially thought that your tutorial that you did was fantastic. So those workshops are really the way to go. 9 more to go. Yeah, I think there's I think we're lagging behind on that that follow a goal meter seems to be kind of lagging behind the follows that are coming, because it was 11 to go. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 follows. So it should be a lot. It should be a lot further up than 92. So we'll hopefully it'll catch up eventually. But that's a Streamlabs feature there, and it works most of the time, and I'm surprised it hasn't gone up. 24-hour stream when I hit the goal. My wife would murder me if I tried that. Okay, so we've got those things in there, and now we need to actually pull those variables out. So we'll get them into local variables to begin with. We're going to skip, and we'll show where we can't actually do this, but we need to kind of make them read only private variables to the class. But we'll grab these for now, and then it's going to be the context, and there's a get argument feature, and this is going to be an int. It's going to be grabbing, and it's going to be called skip. Skip, and then we're going to also get a take. It's going to be called take. So that's giving us the ability to add these custom arguments to our query, and then we're going to be bringing them into our resolver and using them. Okay, so currently we're using this delegate here, this func, to go off to our Dapper lookup session lookup service and grab our batch of streams, future streams. What we're going to need to do is pull that out into its own private method. This is going to be a private async method. It's going to return a task of iLookup of int and stream session. Stream session, that's right, isn't it? Stream session, yeah. And it's going to be called get future streams. Get future streams, and we're going to pass in an IEnumerable of int. Okay, what we want to do first is we want future streams. That's going to be, we're going to need to await this. But we need to pop that into a into a variable, and it's been injected up here. We're actually going to need to grab hold of a copy of that and keep hold of it so that we can use it in our private method. So private read only, private read only. It's going to be an I stream session service. It's going to be called that. And down here, well, I'll just make a copy of that. Okay, so that now is available to us in our method. We need to also get access to, oh, so I'm going down here. So yeah, channels, channel IDs, to be consistent. We'll pop that in there. Okay, so that's happy. And then we've got here a lookup. Right. This is where it gets a bit funky, doesn't it? Right. Got to think about this now. We've got this lookup, and that's what we want to return, but we can't interact with the lookup. So what did we do? So here we got this lookup, and we went through and did some changes, didn't we? Okay, well, we can do the same kind of thing, can't we? So okay, so for each group in future streams, oops. So what do we want to do? So for each of those, we want to actually do a skip and take on the contents. So what's group going to contain? It's going to contain, this is going to be an I grouping. Collection objects have a common key. So future streams. So this is pretty speculative stuff now. Future streams dot. So what do we have in here? So this should contain a group. So what is an I grouping? So what do we have on group? Do we have some nice, can we just do skip and take on it? We can, perhaps. So we're going to need a variable called skip, and we're going to need a variable called take, aren't we? So let's define those. So in a similar way that we had the time zones up here, we're going to want a private int called skip and a private int take. Okay. So if take is greater than 0, then we're going to want to do this process. Oops. It's wonderful to have so many viewers at such an early time. Thank you very much for everyone who's popped by, and for that raid. It's wonderful stuff. So normally I do struggle with viewership at this time because it's quite early. Most people in the UK probably still at work or just returning from work. So I'm most encouraged by that. So thank you very much for everyone who's done that. Okay, and then we want to return future streams. So I wonder if that's going to be as simple as we think it is. Skip and take. Okay. Whoops, what have I done? Why is that grayed out? I've derped something, haven't I? Oh, okay. It's because nothing's calling it, so we just need to just use that as the func rather than that as the func. There we go. Now we're back in business. So it'll almost certainly fall over, but let's find out. Doug the Coder, you just had a look at the GitHub. Is that my GitHub you had a look at? Thank you very much if it was that. Fuels Enable, yeah, this Fuels channel is the T4 template troll of the group. So, good afternoon, Ancient Coder. Welcome. Good to see you. Let's give this a go and see if we're anywhere near this working. Okay. So we luckily with the GraphQL, similar to T4 Fuels Enable, yes. I'm going to get that command over at DevChatter's stream working. So with I don't know if you've seen this before, we got a nice UI playground with GraphQL, which enables us to test and model all our queries. So this is the query we had before without skip and take. Let's make sure it still works, which it does. So we'll say here skip 0 and take, and yes, we could get some IntelliSense like help. So the next 5. So this is one of the things that we wanted to be able to do, is on the dev streams website is display the next 5 streams that the streamer is going to be broadcasting. So let's have a look. Did we get the next 5? It doesn't look like we did we? We just got them all again. So I was kind of afraid of this because I do believe we're going to be kind of hitting this immutable issue. So let's stick a breakpoint in here and see what happens when we do that again. So let me hit our breakpoint, and then we step. So we're going to go into here. So we've done the take, and it's not done it. Take is 5. Skip. Okay. I was kind of hoping it might just do that, but so group. We can't just say group equals, can we? Or can we? Let's give it a go. No. It's a fetch iteration variable, so we can't change it. So what is so I'm pretty sure we can't mess with this. Can we index it? Can we index it? Anyone any ideas how we can? The problem I think that we're going to have is we're going to have to create a new lookup. So I think what we're going to need to do yeah, what we're going to need to do is create a dictionary. No, create just a list. Yes, a list of stream sessions. So var constrained future streams. No, that's bad. I'm just going to call it foo for the moment. We'll think of a good name. This is going to be a new list of stream sessions. Stream session. And here we're going to say foo dot add range. Let's see if we can add all those in. And then run through all of those, and then we want to return foo to lookup channel ID. Is that in there for me? It doesn't look like it is. Come on, that's better. Yeah, there we go. So is that going to solve our problem? We'll have to come back with foo. If anyone's got any suggestions for a name for this variable, they're most welcome. One of the hardest things, especially on stream, thinking of decent names. What's going on down here? Okay, what's the error? Let's build. Okay, now we run it. So how's everyone in chat? Have you had a good day? Are you still at work? Planning to stream soon? Okay, so UI playground. Let's run that. So we hit here. We get our foo. Oh, missed it. No, we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's to work this time. So we now got the top 5. And we should be able to do the skips and things like that. So you can see it's in order. So the next one is that's tomorrow for Brendan, Dev Chatter, and then on the Saturday, and then on the Monday and Tuesday, and then the Thursday. So that's nice. That's actually worked. And then back here we get the Norse. Okay, so that's pretty much all of the features that we need to add at the moment, at least to the GraphQL querying system. Let's just go back and add that future streams into the GraphQL client. So back here we've got our models, and we need to have now on our channel model, we need to have future streams. And that's going to be basically something very similar to where's the next stream here? Very similar to that. So except this is going to be a list of stream session models. Excuse my stumbling over that word. And this is future streams. Future streams, and we'll just initialize that to a new list of stream session. Okay, and we need to go and add that into our queries. That would be over here. So let's have another query. So we're going to need to do something about tidying this client up. But I guess for now we'll just have another query. It will be get channel future streams. And we're going to take in an int called skip and an int called take. Our variables are going to be skip is going to be skip, take will be take, and we can pass them in to here directly. So there should be future streams. And we'll have skip is going to be $skip. So we need to test this. And take $take. Take is going to be $take. Okay, so let's give that a go. We need to go to our test client, and here we will do another query. What's the best way to do this? What are we pulling back in our client again? We're pulling back everything except we're replacing next stream with future streams. Okay, so we can do the same kind of query, can't we? We can just change this one. So this is get channel. What did I call it? Get channel future streams. Can't remember. Get channel future streams. We'll get that. Do that instead. We're going to have in 0 and 1. So we're in 5. We'll do that bit. So future publish schedule. We're not going to have next stream. We're going to grab that. What we'll do is we'll simply put a for each around that. For each of our stream in results dot future streams. Put that there. Put that up. So next 5 streams. Adrian Hall, thank you for the bits. Wonderful. So you just now pipped Carey to number 1. Thank you very much. That's wonderful. I really do appreciate that. So the next 5 streams, we don't need that anymore. We can bring this. We'll copy that down here. Okay, so that should bring that back for us, shouldn't it? So let's give that a go. As I say, we do need to go and tidy that client up. So Adron, you've caught me midstream building a GraphQL query endpoint that's actually built into the DevChatter DevStreams database. So this is my fork of that project, and I'm building the GraphQL endpoint for it. Currently, we're limiting ourselves to just queries. and then we're going to kind of PR this into the main project, and then I'll come back at some point in a couple of weeks' time perhaps and look at mutations and subscriptions in GraphQL. But it's all part of that project. So a bit like my Alexa skill, which is going to, we've kind of put that on hiatus while we build this GraphQL endpoint, and then we're going to use the Alexa skill that's going to actually exploit this endpoint to tidy up some of the logic that was in there, which started to get a bit untidy. We've got all that working. The Alexa skill does work. It's in another fork of the project, but we're going to revisit that probably in the next couple of streams once this gets PR'd in and it's been merged. So let's go back to our project and run this. Let's see what happens. It's probably going to fall over, but there we are. We know. We thought it would fall over, didn't we? So skip is not defined by operation channel query. Oh, okay. That's interesting, isn't it? So I put it at the wrong level. So let's go back to our. So yes, so I've defined this as being a. I thought I put it down here. So this is, these variables are being fed in at the top level here. Okay, well that's fair enough. We can cope with that. So this is going to be, these are going to be optional essentially. So we have $skip, which is going to be an int. In fact, it's going to be mandatory in this case. And we're going to have $take, which is going to be an int as well. I think int is correct. Let's make those capitals. Well, let's try lowercase. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. It's interesting that this string is a capital S. So we try. Let's gamble. Let's try capital I for int. Capital I. We'll make that a required field in this case. Skip and take. So let's give that another go. It'll probably fall over again. Yeah, the Alexa skill has been a fun project, and that's looking really good. There are some features we need to just kind of polish up by using this this GraphQL endpoint. One of the things I do want to build into the endpoint is my fuzzy channel matching feature, so that when someone says dev chatter and the Alexa doesn't pick up dev chatter, maybe it's death chatter, then it still matches. At least it tries to match it. So we have used SoundX in the SQL database to do that kind of fuzzy match. So that was quite fun. We just need to kind of get that into the GraphQL part as well. But we're not going to do that on this stream. That's all going to be part of the actual the proper integration. Proper integration of the Alexa skill rather than the test fit that we've done so far. Okay, so we fell over again. An error during connection. Really? Where would that be? Let's try again. We'll make sure that the UI works as well. Okay, boom. So that works okay. There's no problem with connecting there. It's going to be a derp, this isn't it? Another derpy moment, but we'll persevere and see what it is. Oh, lots of Japanese characters is now following. Thank you very much for that. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Do really appreciate that. So it's Programming Square. Thank you, Programming Square. Very much appreciated the follows. In fact, we've got more follows than 93 today. I think we're pretty much almost at our target. So thank you very much. So we are hitting this through an exception of type null reference exception. Okay, so this is where yes, it's working now. So that we haven't got anything in here. So okay, so okay, it's just me being silly, isn't it? So these need to actually say stream. So this, if you watch Codebase Alpha on a regular basis, this will be a familiar kind of derp. I do tend to do these silly little kind of mistakes, but I guess it's more like realistic. Maybe this is how people really work, but certainly it happens to me all the time. So let's give this another go, and we're going to debug that. Oh, there we go. You can see the publish schedule comes out nicely with the day of the week there, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 next 5 streams coming through. You're in Korea, Republic of Korea. Wonderful. Thank you for joining. It's a long reach when you're streaming, isn't it? It's fantastic. Okay, so there we are. We've got that working. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just commit that. Episode 16. Commit those changes. Okay. What's the time? It's 20 to 6 my time. So we've got a few more minutes we can carry on for. Let's close down our test client and go back to our graph client here. So these kind of queries are relatively unrealistic, and we probably wouldn't actually create such broad queries as this. So we probably have kind of more focused queries, I think, in reality. I think I'm going to leave those pretty much as they are. Let's go and have a look at some of the other stuff that we've got. Hexadecimal number coder. Thank you very much. I'm not even going to attempt. I'll call you Coder. Thank you very much for the follow, Coder. It's much appreciated. We're really heading towards that target now, so it's been a big boost for me. It does help with the confidence that you do get the support. Okay, so let's go and have a look at some of these. So I think we're okay in the GraphQL client. Dapper, yeah, in here. Channel search, that looks okay. Channel aggregate, blah blah blah. So there's a lot of kind of Dapper style code in here, and if you're wondering, I'm not actually going through and consolidating any of this, because a lot of this code is written as part of the DevChatter DevStreams project, and what I don't want to do is to do a lot of refactoring on stuff that Brendan might want to do on his stream. So that's why I'm not really going to do an awful lot on some of these classes you'll see where there's obvious repetitions which we can tidy up. I don't think it's my place in this part of this PR to go and tidy that code up. So I'm just I'm a viewer of DevChatter. I'm actually one of his mods as well. So I'm a mod, you know me as S&B in DevChatter's stream, as it says just here. So I kind of tend to lurk around on other people's streams, often as S&B, but I stream as Codebase Alpha, and you will see Codebase Alpha name appearing sometimes in other streams. So that's yes, I'm a mod on that DevChatter stream, and it's a fantastic stream. It's my favourite one. There are some wonderful streamers out there though, and the Live Coders team really has a lot of them. So Adron, I'm very sorry about that. I've got, as I have to explain, continue when Nightbot intervenes. I've got Nightbot wound up to the actual max, mainly because I haven't got any mods who are kind of looking out for me. So I do apologise. You put some emotes in, yeah. I think I've allowed up to 5. So try putting 5 emotes in and see if you get blatted again. I did allow more than 1, so I think it might be 5. There, we got 3 in there at least. That's nice. I like those torches. Oh no, they're actually magician's hands, aren't they? They're wonderful. To do the refactor, if I did the refactor, I'd want it in a separate PR. But I don't think it's my place to do that, because he might want to do that on stream, rather than me kind of blundering in and making changes on his behalf. Yeah, I like the magician's hands, and then you got the Fritz rainbow clippy in the middle. Wonderful. Okay, Dapper session lookup. So that looks okay. Yeah. So there was one of these ones I wanted to look at. That looks okay. Tag search is all right. So I'm a bit mystified of where this one I'm looking for is. Let's just me tidy up these things here. Okay, so we got our services. I wonder if it was in the CRUD repository. It might be in the CRUD repository. Let's have a look. Yeah, this was it. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, what I did is I had this order by, but this is exactly the same code as above. So it's got an order by on there. So I think what we can probably do. What's the best thing to do? Shall I just leave it? Do I use it? I do use it back here. Oh no, I don't actually use it by the look of it. So let's find all. Let's find get all. So there's get all with an order by. So I do. That's the definition. Do actually that's the only place it is. Okay, well let's try. Commented those out, and it was in iCRUD repository, wasn't it? And let's do a build. I can get rid of it. And deleting code's the best kind of refactoring. TDB Gamer, it's a SQL Azure database. There's the backing store. On DevChatter's stream, it's actually a local DB, but I've got it up in Azure. Because I work on my Alexa skill, I have to kind of publish everything up to Azure to work with the Amazon Azure Alexa skill kit. So I don't need this anymore. This is actually the most efficient kind of refactoring there is, removing code, which is great. I like that. So if you have any other questions about the project, just fire away in chat. So I'm probably going to be finishing fairly soon. My wife's got visitors coming around this evening, so I can't go on too long. Sometimes I will kind of go well over the 2-hour slot that I kind of allow myself, but tonight is not going to be one of those ones. So that's looking pretty good actually. It's only this one. I'd like to do something about this, but is it worth it? Is it worth doing that now on stream, or shall I just think about it? Because it probably needs a bit of thought about the best way of tidying that up, because all these constants could do with going away into a kind of a query bank. How you write effective, so this is TDB Gamer. You're interested in knowing how you write an effective GraphQL endpoint against SQL Server. So I'm using Dapper. That's because Dapper was the ORM, or the micro ORM that is in the DevStreams project. But you can use any. It's GraphQL, as you probably know, there's no dependency on data access. It can be anything you want. Do always pull everything and deliver what's requested, or do you shape the query only to the request that was asked for? So the way this actually works is you define Okay, let's kind of have a quick recap, and I'll tell you what I've learned all this on stream. So you know, I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to be 100% correct in everything I say, but this is my experience of it. So you define your query here. So here we've got two queries basically. Now you're not derailing, so I'm going to. I think the coding kind of segment's probably just about done with now, and I'll take the refactoring of that that client off stream because I want to think about exactly the best way to do that. But there's two queries been defined. The first query is channels, and the second query is channel, and you have to give it an argument of ID. So basically, the data we're dealing with is a streaming channel, and that is composed of a channel type. So the channel type basically has these fields on it. So it has an ID, a name, a URI, a country code, and a time zone, and then it has a list of days, schedules when the stream is scheduled to go on. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever, all those kind of things. And we've got this, the way of actually, and those are in the local streamer's time zone. So we have a way now, we can pass an argument in and we can pass our time zone in, and basically the code will actually convert the time zones. We also have a number of tags, so things like C#, English, Rust, F#, .NET Core, whatever. These are the subjects. So there's a whole group of those. There is also a one-to-one relationship with a table called Twitch channel. And then also there's the next stream, which is a completely made-up kind of field. There's no field called next stream on the database. It's just we work out what the next stream is. And there's also these future streams for what we've done today. So these are all the way that this actually works is that we use this resolve argument, which is a this context here, which we're to actually work out what to do to resolve that particular field. And it's easy for simple fields. So for simple fields, it's simply a mapping like this. This is a lambda mapping, and these are simple scalar types that GraphQL knows about. And for more complicated types, we use this generic format. And then we have to define how that field is going to get populated. And so here we're using what's called the data loader pattern. So this data loader pattern means that it's a bit like a cache, a built-in cache for GraphQL. It means that if we are querying 20 channels and each channel has 4 days they're scheduled, rather than having 4 times 20 plus 1 queries, we only actually have 2 queries. So and then we use this batch loader here, this getter add collection batch loader command, to actually assign all of those schedules to the correct stream. And we use that throughout. So here, no matter how many queries, how many channels we bring back, we're going to get 1 query for the channel, and then 1 for schedule, 1 for tags, 1 for the Twitch, 1 for the next stream, and 1 for future streams. So that's up 5 or 6 queries total. And the way you shape those queries is either in your ORM. So the way we're doing that is, for example, for next stream, we are going off to this method on our here. Oops. This method here, and so this defines the query. This is Dapper. So we actually write our query and execute it on the database here. We're doing converting the result to a dictionary, sending that back, and then in the channel type here, this load and async takes care of assigning the correct next stream to the correct channel. And then Michael Jolly's joined. Oh, I didn't notice it. Very sorry for not noticing you there, Michael. Welcome. We're just about to kind of finish. I was just explaining some of the It's one of the ways that GraphQL works to TBD Gamer. Now, TBD Gamer, if you like to go onto YouTube or onto the Twitch, my Twitch channel, you can actually see the previous videos in the series. I think they'll be there for 60 days. But if they do start to disappear, then go off to YouTube. I'll pop a link into YouTube. Do subscribe to that, and you'll get notified when the new videos get posted up there. So that's YouTube. If you'd like to join my Discord for chat about programming or about space and rockets, which is my other love, then this is my Discord. So do pop over there and say hello. For Twitter, then you can follow me on this address, which is that going to come up? Anyway, it's at Codebase Alpha, and I think we'll just start to wind up now. So I'll just demonstrate I've got a custom bot running in the chat at the moment, and one of the command we have is a launches command, which will tell us about rocket launches coming up. And so this is rocket launches. This is only SpaceX launches currently, so we need to go in the bot and fix this so it's other launches as well. But you can see that the one I want to draw your attention to is today, hopefully, fingers crossed, 22:35 UTC is when the launch window opens for Falcon Heavy, and that's going to be absolutely spectacular. A spectacle worthy of the day in which we all witnessed the very first photograph of a black hole. So if you haven't seen that, head over to the news channels. It's all over the news. There's lots of kind of science analysis going on, and Twitter's full of it as well. So go and see that. Marvel at the picture of a black hole. It actually looks exactly like you thought it would look like, which is marvelous. It's a black hole surrounded by bright light, which is well, it's probably not light. It's by radiation. And if you're lucky enough to be in the US, do tune into the Falcon Heavy launch. It is black, yeah. It's black in the middle and it's bright around the outside. There's no Codebase Alpha orbiting it though. As you know, we actually we're not really in someone's front room here. We actually are on a space station which is in orbit around a black hole, Cygnus X1. This all the kind of background behind me with the ironing board is all just kind of to fool you mortals into thinking we're just streaming from someone's room, but no. We are actually in outer space, and I'm actually streaming from the past and from the future, but I'm not streaming from the present, which is a bit of a paradox. So thank you so much for joining me. I'll just pop some Alph emotes in here. So this is Alph, alien crewmate, and he's one of the emotes that you get if you do subscribe, as well as one of these rocket badges, which you can see that I've got against my name. So there's a nice green rocket and there's a blue rocket as well, and there'll be some further badges, space stations and things like that in the future as we start to kind of build up the following. But I'm going to now just have a look to see who we can raid, because I'm going to wind up, and I really do appreciate the number of viewers who've tuned in today. It's been amazing. Okay, so let's go over here, have a look. So if we look here, we've hit 101 followers, so we've actually hit our target. So I don't know why the follower goal widget up there hasn't upgraded, but thank you so much for that. That's a course celebration. I should be tweeting that shortly. So let's have a look who's actually on. Oh, so we got Code Rush is on. We'll go and raid Code Rush. Is that another follower that's coming? Oh, thank you very much, Breaky. Breaky, thank you very much. Let's go to our dashboard, and we're going to raid Code Rushed. If you haven't watched Code Rushed stream before, you're in for some amazing stuff. So thank you. The next stream will be next Monday, and Code Rushed will be on stream with us. All things going well. So enjoy Code Rush, and goodbye.